So, I am here, I am in Strasbourg, and this is me here for the start of my year. I'm doing a year abroad as part of the French course I'm doing at uni, and I am doing an independent work placement for the academic year, essentially, with the Navigators, who are an evangelical association who do student work and student ministries. So I'm doing that for the year, which is great, really. Should be quite fun. Um, and yeah, it's just good to be out here. I got here about a month ago, so I'm sorry, I'm not very good at maintaining contact with real actual people, um, and I have I've somewhat disappeared off the grid, which in theory is fun, is exciting, is like a spy, and in reality is just eating crepes on your own, trying to work out how to buy stamps for postcards, um, which is something, I suppose. Um, so the glamorous romanticized ideal of what it means to kind of be a rogue person wandering around Europe on your own is not true. I've found. Anyway, I got here about a month ago. I took a flight out from Edinburgh. I'm just going to move the camera actually. Like Neil Buchanan and Arctic. Just took a plane out from Edinburgh, symbolised here by this Tower of Barad-dûr that it looks absolutely nothing like Scotland, or maybe like cactuses or Venus flytraps growing out of a jar. Anyway, down here to this very poorly proportioned Europe, to Basel, which is here in Switzerland, and then took a train up into Strasbourg, which is great. I'm very, very close, as you can see, to Germany. That's what this is, to Switzerland, Belgium. I think Holland is like here, and then Denmark. And I'm also, of course, very close to other things in France, like Paris and Tours. But the one place I'm no closer at all is in Rennes, which would be here. I am about 1,000 miles away from Rennes, which isn't good, which is really, those aren't the words anybody wants to hear. It's the furthest I've ever really been away from home for any long period of time, and it's very, very strange. It's very strange. I am staying in what's called the Stift. This is I'll put a video up actually of it. It's very nice, just German architecture. It's about, I don't know how old it is. I think it's 19th century. And it's a university hall with this kind of Christian philosophical spiritual thing going on, which is great fun. Although it doesn't really amount to anything much more than saying, in the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight before eating dinner. Did you know actually that the lion is sleeping because he's dead? That was a blow. I didn't know that. Really something of a disappointment. But I'm not here to be lied to, and I'm not here to lie to you. I will report France and the continent and how the French are, which is well, by the way, as faithfully as I can. And I will not spare any of the hard details. So the work with the Navs, this is, for those of you who know the Navs in Scotland, they're as I said, a discipling organisation they do student ministries. They work with students. In Scotland, it's largely aimed at people who are already Christians, to try and develop them, to try and deepen them in the faith, and root them more deeply in Christ. For them then to be able to do that with other people, and to create real spiritual leaders, and people of influence for the gospel, going forward. In France, that's like somewhat different. There's a much it's more theologically and denominationally diverse in France, which is interesting actually, because it's not a problem. It's not there's no clash. There's rather just a mix. There's a spectrum of things and people. Whereas in Scotland, it's certainly, it feels much, we've put more walls, more barriers between ourselves. So it's slightly different here. You're not looking at people who are already Christians. You're looking at some people who are already Christians, but you're looking at people who have probably some sort of information or knowledge or background, but wouldn't call themselves Christians. Wouldn't be seen. Probably wouldn't be seen in church. Wouldn't associate themselves with spiritual things. Which means it's quite exciting. There's a mission field out there that's ripe, and there's a lot of opportunities, which at this point in the year is exciting, and is something I'll undoubtedly look back on with regret at how all the ways I failed come June, when I'm reviewing this vlog, as I will, because I'm an incredibly self-centered person, and I will be looking at this often and accounting for most of the views that the channel gets. But no, so that is me. That's my purpose for this year. That's the Navigator's aim. Their kind of slogan is to know Christ and to make Him known. And that can be anyway. That they practice the whole relational evangelism thing, or rather than kind of going up to someone and saying, "So you're a sinner? Well, we've got the cure." You can just be like, "Well, get beer," or "Do you want to do this crossword with me?" Or I'm very bad at making friends, so I've not thought this through at all. There's lots of ways to do it. There are people here who want to learn English, and there are people like me who want to learn French, and that's how we're doing. So this is the kind of cultural setting I've stumbled into, and it's quite exciting. More so the fact that there is no pressure on me. I'm a bit of an unknown entity. I feel a lot like Sting when he sang, "I'm an alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. I'm not. I'm a Scotsman in Strasbourg," which actually sounds infinitely better. But there has been a sort of small crisis of identity, because you've got to practice your accent, your French accent. You've got to be in your French voice. But I'm not French. I'm Scottish, and I've got a Scottish accent, and so in a sense, without saying pretentious, without trying to sound pretentious, I should maybe say, there feels like an element in which I have to kind of kill off my culture and kill off my identity to create a new one, which is weird when you think about it. It's really weird, but you can't speak with a thick Scottish accent. That's not going to cut it. That's not a good idea. It would be novel for a while, perhaps, but that's not going to help anyone. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of problems and struggles with identity actually at the moment, just in terms of being here, because I've kind of gone from being this person who, certainly in my immediate vicinity in the north of Scotland, kind of speaks French, and that's not terribly common, from my understanding, from French people themselves have told me. But I feel a bit like a trained monkey. In fact, not even a very well trained monkey. I really like a poorly trained monkey, in fact. Kind of going from this percentage of people who can speak French relatively quite well and express themselves, to being someone who comparatively does not speak French well, which has been like a real blow to my pride and to my sense of identity in that I've probably made too much of it about studies, um, uh, which means I really need to find something else, which is difficult when your personality and character are both so weak that you've had to compensate with academic studies to be interesting as a person. But um, yeah, expressing yourself is difficult. Myself, I'm finding it difficult and unelegant. It doesn't come naturally. Um, and so in academic studies and looking at the Bible with people, and talking to people about things, I can talk to them about Putin because I did that in second year. I can talk to them about that one film I did a review on. But like small talk is proving actually very, very difficult. And they say like a lot of human communication is or a larger percentage than you'd think is non-verbal, but a lot of it is also totally meaningless in small talk. Um, and but it's also very important, alas, um, because I can't do it. I had for one of the first nights I was here, I had a talk with a woman about where I was from, what I was doing, Dan Winch, so many people here do, um, and then after that I simply kind of stopped, and I could kind of feel the gears moving, and she could probably see that. But what did happen was I just kind of looked at her face until she walked away, and then she's walking in the corner. No, wait, stop. Oh, okay. Um. So yeah, that's it has been a very strange experience in terms of where how good I thought I was at stuff. I mean, there are other people who sailed away to foreign lands and parts of the globe, only to find they weren't quite all that.
I can't do this, Sam. I know. It's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here. But we are.
I've not picked up much of a tan either. I thought I might have. I thought it would be quite good because I'd obviously left the British Isles in that massive depression and came to Europe where the heat wave and Paris had just known it's like the hottest day in its recorded history. But I've not really. I'm not going to. At least to Scottish for that, I suppose. I mean, even Mark Dawson Burns. But I simply stay the same, unchanging, ineffable, slightly blasphemous, perhaps. But I am. Yeah. The language barrier has been obviously this kind of it's this thing. It's this cultural thing. You approach somebody totally differently because you know they're not. You know they're not like right on the same page as you. You know, like even the accent is different. And so little mannerisms and nuances are missing. They're gone. And joking is not possible anymore. Banter, decent banter, is a difficult task. In French, there's a because people simply take what you say so seriously. Like this whole deadpan, like self-effacing, self-deprecatory humor is not a big thing. By which I mean it doesn't exist. Uh, Cue me arriving, a navigator's planning in, and someone's saying, "You need to bring your Bible." And I'm like, nah, who needs that? I never gonna. This guys is yeah. Is he serious? Or my absolute masterstroke of an idea when I first arrived, first met the navigators team, the kind of 7 or 8 guys I'll be having the most contact with in terms of running and being part of, in terms of ideas, I suppose you could say. I'm not doing anything. That would be a terrible idea. That would be such a nightmare. But a little baby was brought in, not like as a prop or like a child's address, but just because the parent of the child came in and decided not to leave it in the car. So I decided, oh, I'm gonna come up with some of this surrealist humour. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And so I announced again. I understand. It's you know why babies cry? He's like, why? I'm like, it's because they can see into the future, but have neither the power to articulate nor comprehend what they learn. And you know how like when somebody you're being to tell a joke, and the person first has this look of kind of like skepticism on their face, and like that changes as they see more and more of the joke. His face didn't change. I just kind of looked at him. Oh, okay. Oh. This guy thinks I'm absolutely mental. Really, and like somebody has killed Ian and has turned up in his place. Um, but with so that's the difficulty. Language barrier. It feels more like just a kind of how you relate to someone barrier. I remember there was a guy last year in St Andrews who'd come from abroad, and like what I wanted to do is, yes, freshers like they always get a kind of name, studies, place. That was kind of the big three, and no one really engages with you apart from that. And so I was like, what's the dream? Because someone asked me that on my first year. I thought that's really interesting. That's really intuitive. He kind of wants to know more. He wants to find out on a different level of what is the dream. But someone else was asking this who was a foreigner as well. I'd been kind of asking people the same thing, and with me, people were like, "Oh yeah, I want to be an astronaut," or "I want to be the solution for peace in the Middle East." But with this other guy, people were kind of like, the dream like was. It's a trick question. So people do kind of just look at you differently, and they modify the way they're going to relate to you, and it's different. But there are English speakers here. There's a Canadian girl I spoke to, but like the language barrier was a massive problem. In fact, she was totally unable to understand me until we started speaking French. Now, what's really also very interesting is the fact that, unlike Sting, I'm primarily a tourist. I feel like a tourist who simply overseas is welcome, and a tourist who should really have gone to this point. Because I like my hall is situated quite close to the big things like the cathedral, Petite France, the Christmas market when it will be Christmas, and so I feel like I'm hanging around with tourists, and that most of my daily kind of commutes to places are tourist destinations for touristy things like postcards and whatnot, which is fun, but in September, in November, when all the tourists have gone home, it isn't going to be fun. And maybe the whole point and fun of being a tourist is because it can't last, which is kind of sad. But because maybe tourism really it's bound up in no sense of belonging. Maybe tourism is an escape from belonging, escape from yourself. In which case, I do feel I've managed that fairly well. And I had no idea how difficult this would be and how much like an oral test this would be. I'm not even interesting to myself, but what I've got is this on the bright side is this El Curina Body Samt Schaum Savon Mousse. As you can see that there, it's amazing. It's like red forest fruits, I suppose is maybe what you call this. And so you can see here it's clearly got liquid, but if you spray it on something unimportant and unofficial, like for example, a bank paper. So water, but wait, is this gonna show? It's now a gas. Science in action, which is wonderful. Not sure if I can do this now. And I've got all the sweet corn unblocked from my sink, which which is a good thing because that would be difficult enough to explain in English, never mind French, to the housekeeping staff. Right, so it's now getting late, and I'm just backing and putting this whole thing together. It doesn't have much for ending, so good night and have very nice days.